Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Python interview questions. That is, what is a generator in Python? Let me answer. In Python, generator is a type of function. So what is a generator? In Python, generator is nothing but a type of function is a type of function. So what exactly is generator? Okay, we understood that generator is a type of function, but what exactly this function does, how it is different from other functions, all these things I'm going to cover in this session. To understand exactly how this generator type of function can be used in Python, before explaining all this theoretical part, let me give you a practical demonstration. After the practical demonstration, I'll explain all these statements so that you'll be able to understand the generator type of function in Python easily. So let me quickly switch to this PyCharm ID where I'm going to create a function, guys. Okay, where I'm going to create a function. Normal function, how do you create? The same way you create. Okay, def is the keyword for creating the functions in Python. So def keyword followed by the name of the function. Give any function. It's a sample underscore gen. You can give any name here. I'm just giving sample gen and give the circular brackets. As a function, we'll have the circular brackets. Provide the colon. Press enter. Now this is a normal function, right? So there is a small difference between the normal function and generator function that you will understand right now. Okay. So here inside this sample gen, I'm going to write some statements or I'm going to use a particular keyword, guys, which will make this normal function behave like a generator type of function. Okay. What is that keyword that we have to use to make this normal function to become a generator type of function? That keyword is nothing but yield, guys. Yield is the keyword name. Okay. So if you don't use this yield keyword, there is no difference between normal function and this function. Okay, we have to use a yield keyword so that this function becomes a generator type of function. Okay, yield. I'll just say 9 yield. Let's say 1 yield 5 yield 7. So some values I'm giving is 9 1 5 7 kind of values I'm giving. Okay, here I need to call this function, right? Like the normal way we call this function, right? I'm going to call this function. Let's say sample underscore gen. Like this, I need to call the function. Just give another space. So whatever, when you call this function is going to return some value. Okay, this function is going to return some value. That value I would like to store into a variable, guys. Okay, let's say sg. I'm just naming the variable as sg. Okay, so now this function is a generator function which has this yield keyword. How does this function behave? You have the flexibility, guys. Okay, whenever you call this function, all this code will not be executed at a go, guys. Okay, whenever you call this function, the code inside this function will not be executed at a go. Rather, for every yield, it will be executed once. So whenever we need to get some value from this function, a list of values from this function, what you have to do is, okay, you have stored the result into this sg, right? You have to simply say is next of sg. When you, the moment you say next of sg, next inbuilt function use and pass this sg, it will take the first yield value. What is this yield returning? It will return the generator object. This 9 is a generator object. In this case, it's going to be returned by the yield. This is a generator function using the yield keyword. When you call this function and when you say next of sg, it will take this first yield value as a generator object, and that I can print it, guys. If I want, I can print it. Okay, you see here, whatever the values I want, I can ask here. Okay, and if I run this, the complete code will not be executed, guys. Even though you're calling this function, the complete code will not be executed at a go. Rather, when you say next of sg, the first yield value will be taken first. Okay, run this, only 9 will be retrieved and printed. You see, next of sg will retrieve 9 from this function and print that here. Okay, now if you want one more value, let's say 1, next one you want, then you can write one more. Again, you have to write next of sg. This will get you the next yield value, that is print of generator object will come, second generator object will come here. Based on the number of yield statements that are there, okay, you can call this next inbuilt function that many number of times, and it will retrieve this, collect this value from the generator function in the form of generator object. Now, if you run this 2 times, that is 9 and 1 will come. Again, you say print of next of sg, run this code, third yield value 5 will come. Now, again, if you say print of next of sg, the 7 will come. Only 4 yield keywords are there. So 4 times only you can request the value from this generator function. Okay, you can request the value on the fly only 4 times. If you try to do it fifth time, you are going to get an error, guys, because only 4 values, 4 times this generator function can generate the object. But if you try this print of next of hg fifth time, you are going to get an error saying that stop iteration. Okay, so this is not going to work. Okay, so stop iteration. Iteration has stopped already. Okay, only four yield keywords are there. Only 4 times you can call this next inbuilt function, and by passing this generator thing and all the stuff. Okay, you can program also, okay, so you can not only you have to write this yield, you can put this yield keyword inside a while loop instead of writing this yield 9, yield 1, yield by yield 7, right? You can do different kind of logics you can write here. I'll show you. So the function will be same inside this. I'll say int I is equal to 1. Here I need to pass some value. Let's say 5 I'll pass. Here I'll collect the value into this, like the functions have the parameters. Okay, this okay, this generator type of functions also can have the parameters similar to functions, guys. You can pass this argument here, and here you can write the logic. Int I is equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to x colon. Here I'll say yield of I. I want to return I. In the first iteration of the while loop, I want to return I. Sorry, you should not say I int, guys. You have to directly say I. In Python, the data types won't be there. So sometimes I go back to Java and do the difference. Okay, so data types won't be there. That's why error is coming. I is equal to 1 while I less than or equal to x. Yield I, and then I want to say I plus is equal to 1. Okay, I want to increment the value of I by 1 like this. Done. So what happens is this yield keyword, whenever it encounters, it will return the value. Okay, so how to get this yield value? How to call it, right? How to use a inbuilt function known as next, and in that I have to pass this sg. Then what happens when I say sg? So this function is called, phi is already passed to this. Okay, and here I is equal to 1 while 1 is less than or equal to 5. The 5 is there now. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yield 1 is there. Okay, in the first iteration, yield 1 is there. If I say next of sg, what will be retrieved? Yield 1 will be retrieved. One value will be retrieved. If I say print of next, 1 will be printed in the output, guys. Okay, in the first iteration, 1 will be printed in the output. You see? Again, if I say print of next of sg, again sg, if I say, what happens? Here, I plus is equal to 1. That is, I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 2 less than or equal to 5. Yield 2. Okay. 3. 3 less than or equal to x. Yield 3. 4. 4 less than or equal to x. Yield 4. 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. Yield 5. 6. 6 less than or equal to 5 is false. So yield 1, yield 2, yield 3, yield 4, yield 5. 5 yields are there in this generator function, and you can call this next inbuilt function how many times? 5 times. Okay, because these 5 iterations are possible. In 5 iterations, yield value I is set to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, run this code up to 5 will be printed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be printed. If you try the next time, you'll get an error, guys. Okay, you'll get an error. Only 5 times it is possible to loop. 6th time you got an error, guys. 6th time you already got an error. You see, stop iteration error has come. So hope, guys, you understood what exactly is a generator in Python. Okay, so it's a type of function in Python which returns the generator object. Okay, using the yield keyword, it returns a generator object, guys. Okay, for every iteration or for every yield keyword, it will return one generator object. And even though there are good number of generator objects, it's up to you, guys. Okay, you see this particular generator function has the capability of returning 5 yields, 5 generator objects in the form of yields. It can return using the yield keyword. It can return 5 generator objects. But if you don't want all the 5, you want only 3. It's up to you, guys. Okay, it's not compulsory that you have to take all the yield values here. Okay, all the yield generated generator objects you don't have to take. It's not compulsory, even though it has a possibility of generating you 5 generator objects, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here in this case of example. But if you're calling this only 3 times, only 3 times it will yield you. Okay, it will generate only 3 generator objects. You see, only 3. Even though 5 capability is there, you are only taking 3. This kind of things. Okay, this is what is a generator type of function in Python, guys. Okay, so you have the flexibility here. Okay, so though the generator function is capable enough in generating you 5 generator type of objects, but you can only access 3. You can only get 3 with the help of next inbuilt function. Okay, we have to use yield keyword. We can use yield keyword in generator function multiple times. So for returning the generator objects from the generator type of function, we have to use the yield keyword. All these things I already covered, guys. Okay, is a type of function which it returns a generator object in iterations. Okay, every time you call that, it will return you something. The generator function containing multiple occurrences of yield keyword is not executed once. Instead, it is executed as values are requested. Okay, instead of is not executed one time, rather the number of times you call that next inbuilt function. Okay, so based on the values, based on the values you are requesting from the generator function, that many times, okay, the yield keyword, okay, will be executed. Okay, the generator function multiple occurrences of yield keyword is not executed once. If it contains multiple yield keywords, the generator type of function can be executed the number of times you request the values. Okay, the flexibility is there in the form of values, guys. Whatever you are requesting, that many times only. Even though it has a capability of 5, you can only request for the values 3 times from the generator type of functions. So I gave you 2 practical demonstration to help you guys in understanding the generator type of function in Python in a detailed and more better way. Okay. So hope guys you got the answer for this question in this session. So that's all for this session. In the next session, I'm going to answer another Python interview question for you. Till then, see you. Bye bye.